No Bones. The No Bones Podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the No Bones Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Rich.
We're going to bring you a quick fire review straight after UFC 294, which in some ways lived up to all the hype, but in some ways there were some fights that were over way too quickly, especially for some fans who, from a point of view, might have wanted a bit more action, a bit more stand-up, a bit more fighting, but that's the way things go sometimes. So we'll get stuck straight in, and we're going to start with a No Bones favourite in Mo Mokayev, who had a very tough fight up against Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott had him down quite a lot at first. He was even overpowering him with wrestling, which we thought Mo would take him down more with. We're kind of mirroring his last outing, which was very difficult for him at first couple of rounds. And then he did what he did, and he pulled it round again, Chris, didn't he?
My God, did he? You know what? After the first round, I looked at Matty and Rich and I said, fuck me. You know what? I'd be amazed, flabbergasted if he got anything out of that round, out of that fight.
I think we were definitely all thinking that we were losing after round 1 and 2, didn't we?
Yeah, round 1 and 2 for me, we were getting dominated. And again, Matty said, oh yeah, last fight he won on third. And I said, Matty, to me, you know what? If I were putting any money on, I'd be saying, fuck that. Stay well away from that. He was getting dominated from me in all aspects. He was taking him down, don't get me wrong, but he was getting caught deep in, in chokes and that kind of stuff. And to me, Elliott looked like a better fighter. And when he pulled it round at end, I'll be honest with you, fucking what a performance it turned out to be. Sorry.
I think it kind of turned on its head, didn't it, when he had him in chokehold, and Mo found the strength to pick him up and slamming on his head. And I think that was a moment when Mo got a bit of strength, he got a bit of confidence from that and moved on.
Yeah, I think that was in second, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First round domination. It kind of started off same. Into second round, Mo got in a bit of trouble. We kept thinking, fucking hell, you know what? He's in deep here.
He was struggling, man.
He could be in trouble. And in that second round, when he dumped him on his head, we thought, wow. And he still stayed. You know what he did? I couldn't believe. No, he hung on there, didn't he?
There's no quitting that guy, man.
Oh.
There is no quitting that guy.
Wow.
We saw it last time in London, the time when his leg were bent like a banana, wrong way fucking round, man. There's just no quitting him. There's no quitting him. He had his head a few times. And some fighters might have tapped, not Mo.
Yeah, I've listened to a few bits with him, and he was saying last week in a few interviews, during that last fight when he got caught with leg, he said he heard it crack 7 times, and he still held on.
Jeez.
So his knee's obviously fucked. He's had surgery since that. He's recovered. He won that fight, which was we all thought, he's got some fucking minerals, hasn't it, boy? Let's be fair. He recovered that fight, finished him in the end of that fight, and then he's gone deep in this, losing 2 rounds, losing the way he did at the beginning of that fight, then recovering and winning again. He's got something about him, hasn't he?
Listen, mate, it's not a bad habit to get into, and even if you're looking down and you can turn it around like he has, he's done it twice now, and we all know what he wants. He wants to be the youngest UFC champion. He wants to beat John Jones's record, which he's got to do before March next year. He said this week that he's looking to have another fight before end of this year, which tonight's win is going to take him into the top 10. He's going to want to look to have another fight before end of this year, which we're not sure who that opponent might be, but that'll take him up to top 5 or 6. He's got to get a little bit of a favour from UFC and Dana White if they're going to give him a championship fight before March next year to get that record. But I, for one, hope he gets it, and I hope he wins his next fight and gets it on. But do we think he's got it in him? Do we think he's got it in him to get that championship before March to beat John Jones's record?
He's got a chance for me, but it's unlikely. Stars have got a fucking folding line, aren't they, for him to get that? Top
boys in that division, in like Brandon Moreno and obviously the champion at the minute in Pantoja, the top quality fighters, aren't they? Will he get there?
He's only, now though he's in top 10, he's 1 or 2 off being, he's knocking on door, let's say, isn't he?
He'll get a championship fight soon, but will it be soon enough for that record? That's all we know, that's what he wants, but
for
will
me,
it be soon
how
enough?
big Dana at UFC or in Abu Dhabi at Middle East, you know what, would I be surprised if he won one more than they catapulted him to a to a belt? I won't be surprised.
If he wins one more by the end of this year, I think I think they will give him that shot because it's good for sport. It's good for branding it. If we've got this up and coming guy that's going to beat a record from somebody like John Jones, who's on his way out. Obviously, they want to keep moving things forward. They want to promote up and coming guys.
In the lower division as well, he's only 23 years old.
Yeah, and it's not a division that attracts that much attention, really, is it, in flyweight? You know what I mean? Everybody likes welterweight, everybody likes lightweight, everybody likes the heavyweight, where the big guys are, the big name stars. I'm not sure of his sexuality, but, you know, we'll see what cracks on there. But, yeah, man, it's good for that division, and we'll see if he can make it. We'll
We'll definitely see. Well said. I'm not sure how many... big gays are in the Middle East, to be fair with you, but yeah, I agree with you. I'm on back what you're saying. I'd love to see which direction he's going in.
Anyway, I think I'll be a bit of a bad policeman in here. Although he won that fight, I was a bit disappointed with his performance. For somebody who is up and coming and wants a shot at a title, not even that, he wants to be youngest ever champion in UFC. I don't think at least at this point, he has it in him.
Yeah, he's got the hype and he's got the expectation. And after the first 2 rounds, he was losing. You're right, mate. Yeah, I reckon he'll be disappointed. You're right.
And that was the test. You know, he fought against ex-number-1 contender, wasn't he? He was struggling, and I mean, he was struggling.
Make no bones about it, mate. This guy, he want a walking part fighter.
Good point, that mate. Make no bones about it. And he fought Demetrius Johnson before, who's best in history in that division.
Yeah, man.
Unfortunately, he's not in UFC anymore, Demetrius Johnson, and he's had a bit of a slide. But he's an all-round fighter. You could see that, couldn't you? First couple of rounds, I was thinking, he's got no chance, Mo. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he looked out of his depth for a little while, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he did what Mo does, man. He turned it around. And
He did win the fight, but I think if you want to be a champion, you need to be a bit... You know, I think you have to perform a bit better, don't you?
You do, mate. You do. He got the job done in the end, and he needs to improve. I think we can all agree that he does need to improve, but he got it done. So hats off to him for that. I know. So we will now move on to... We'll go straight up to top 3 fights at night. We're going to start with one which was incredibly disappointing in the Johnny Walker and Ankalaev fight, which, you know, it started fast. Walker were losing, I think, quite convincingly, despite him looking really good. He looked cut, he looked confident. He's there giving it all, popping and locking on his way into octagon as he does. And, you know, it's entertaining to watch, but he were losing quite convincingly, I think, until he got an illegal knee. And then all the madness that surrounded after, he didn't know what was going on. There was doctors in there was coaches in there was referees in there. They had to get Dana White in there and to calm it all down. It was a little bit mental. What they were saying is the doctor asked him if he knows where he was, and
it was in the desert.
I think at the moment we've not heard that much audio, but he asked him where he was. He said, I'm fighting in desert or something like that.
Where are you, brother? Well, I'm still running desert. Well, which one?
I mean, it was a brutal knee, but it was an illegal knee. So what can you do, man? What can you do? I mean, I like Johnny Walker. I like Ankalaev. What a strong fight. He started that fast. It looked good to start with, but yeah, it was an unusual fight and a disappointing one, obviously, because I was looking forward to that fight. I thought it would be a good competition between the two. But what happened? What do you reckon?
They were highly anticipated, weren't they? You know,
yeah, it was.
Both of these guys. One's won 4 out of 5, and Walker has won his last 3. And Walker's pretty much, I wouldn't say unreliable, but he's a bit of a wild card, isn't he?
He's unpredictable, man. He's good. His striking's awesome, but there is questions on his chin. He has been knocked out. He has lost fights that people have thought he'd win in the past. And tonight, I mean, I thought he was a bit harsh. I thought he did look coherent, but, you know, I'm not a doctor.
That flying knee.
The flying knee, when it looks like he sort of played it like as if he were injured. And then
he possum, didn't he? And he jumped away flying knee, and we got a giddy, and we're like, it was fucking roofing like him.
Had he landed that flying knee, I think it might have gone in a different direction. But, you know, the knee full onto jaw that he took from Ankalaev while he was down, he had his knee down, obviously. It was an illegal blow. For me, he looked like he was recovering, but I'm not a doctor. The doctor decided he wasn't. And obviously we all saw the absolute madness that ensued. They're trying to get to each other through everybody that's there. it took Dana White to come in for it all to calm down. Once Big Boss Man were in there, you know what I mean, he was the only guy that they were listening to. They weren't listening to anybody else, all the other guys that were in there. But once Dana got in there, showed his authority, and it all calmed down a bit. I feel sorry for him. I do feel sorry for him. But you know what happened. What's your take on it, Chris? What do you reckon?
Yeah, you know what? It was a highly anticipated fight. Wasn't it? Two strikers, one being a Dagestani, the other, you know, he's Brazilian, but he fights out of Scotland and Ireland. I've heard he's settled down now, so I was more excited to see him, really.
I think a lot of people won't they? Because Ankalaev has not fought for a year since his draw with Big Jan Blachowicz, and he's been out for a while, and Walker's been active and he's been impressive. So despite Ankalaev being ranked at number 2 and Walker being ranked at number 7, a lot of people were fancying Walker in this fight.
Yeah, I would as well. I backed him on a little sneaky bet that I had, and you know what? I thought
we all did. If we're looking back at our predictions for these fights, we all did back Johnny Walker. I mean, if we look at the little bit of fighting that we had in that first round, I think Ankalaev, he started stronger.
Yeah,
he was looking stronger. I think Johnny was struggling, to be fair.
Yeah, I kept thinking we were going to get caught, Johnny, because Johnny's he's an outlandish, bit of a freaky striker. He throws, you know, he's got spare the moment ideas. He throws knees up, elbows up, you know, he pisses about a bit. And the Russian, he was a bit of a striker, better counter puncher. Us three guys were just thinking on the role that Johnny Walker were on. He's changed camps. He's just become married. He's just had a child. You know, he's settled down. He's a bit of a character. We were hoping, and we all thought that he'd probably get the nod. You know, with his tenacious striking and whatnot.
He looked good, didn't he? He looked good. If you're looking at Wayne, he looks absolutely good. He looks in best shape he's ever been in.
Round, what do you think? I thought he was coming short a bit.
Yeah,
we were thinking he'd get caught, weren't we?
Yeah. Like we say, these question marks over his chin.
And, you know, showing like the outlandish striker that he is, we thought we were hoping he'd win.
But we know how professional these Russians, stroke Dagestanis are. We know that there's no quitting these guys. That they are professional. They get on with it. You know what I mean, they performed at the top of the game just about every fight, and he was winning. Obviously, as we've just spoke about in Momaki fight, whoever's winning in the early stages doesn't mean that they're going to go on to win a fight by any means. But you know, Walker was struggling, and it was an unfortunate end to it. It really was, because I was excited for that fight, and I thought it would, had it carried on, which I think there might have been a cause for it to carry on. I do think that they stopped it a little bit early. I thought it was coherent, and I thought they could have carried on. But once the doctor had got in there and said that he's not good to carry on away, what can they do? You're going to attract a lot. You're going to attract a lot of criticism, a lot of headlines if you go against the doctor and let someone carry on fighting.
I'm not sure if you saw it, Rich, but it would definitely stop short. That it was fucking. To be honest with you, it were a big bad look from me to everything I like promote, get behind, talk about, advertise, fucking talk to my pals about. You know, all bullshit talk. I think it was a bit of a bad look for UFC, that. It looked a bit all over the place. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on. He wasn't rocked, he was cut above eye, and it was a legal blow. And when he stood up, this is all. Doctor came in, and there was a misunderstanding, so they were asking him, where are you fighting? And he basically said in desert, rather than which. Doctor were looking for which country you're fighting in, you know, whereabouts are you now? So there was a misunderstanding. So for me, there's like a big... You know, asterisk above that for me. And they will fight again for sure. It's just a bit of a letdown, because I thought it could have been a good fight, that. It was a pretty even fight.
Yeah, but to me, I didn't see the fight because I had dinner reservations, as you know. But
you were too busy whining and dining, Richard. Yeah. You joined us a little bit after that one, didn't
you? Yeah, but we did watch some while having a dinner. But anyway, I did, you know, on Instagram, I did see that moment when it was all kicking off.
Yeah.
Somebody posted it already.
The chaos that ensued it.
But the point I have with this, you know, a fighter will always still say, I'm fine, I want to fight. They'll always do that, even if they're all over the place. We've seen that time and time again. It just happens.
Richie was caught and he put his hand to his head. And it was a legal knee.
Yeah, but
so you get given 5 minutes.
You have to understand the doctor's point of view as well.
Everyone steps in and they assess the fighter. if you can see, then you get 5 minutes and it's an illegal blow. He stood up and rubbed his eye, and doctor came in and said, "Are you good to go?" Or "Where are you?" He was asking him questions, which is fair enough. There was a misunderstanding within language. He's Brazilian via Ireland, Scotland, and all over.
Yeah, but he understands which country he's in. That's what he was asking him for. If he was a bit funny or he answered wrong, it's kind of on him. It's a simple question, where you are. You're not going to say now where you are. You're going to say in park, are you?
What kind of mean? Where you're fighting from? Who are you?
I don't know. Is that a couple? You never know, man.
Yeah, but why would you say a desert?
It was dubious, wasn't it? No.
Hey, well, listen. They've got a duty of care to fighters, and
Yeah.
it is a fine
From
line.
the doctor's point of view, he's like, okay. You know.
Yeah, they have. It's a violent sport, man. You know what I mean? They've got a duty of care to fight.
Yeah.
They've got the protocols. They've got the things. They've got to follow your finger and all that. And we've got to ask questions, see if they're coherent. To me, I agree with Chris. He did look coherent immediately after he got confused from the question. But I suppose you've got to listen to the doctors, man. And it's unfortunate. And I were excited for the fight. Hopefully we'll get a rematch of it. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll get it on again. I'm sure that'll be both of them's next fight.
100%.
Yeah.
Did you see Dana? Dana climbed in. He was like, "Guys, relax. 'Cause they're both trying to kill each other." And
They're still trying to fight. They're still trying to get into it.
Relax, guys. I'll take care of it. I'll sort you out. We'll be back on you.
Yeah, both of them wanted to carry on for sure.
Yeah, but I'll still back up the doctor. Imagine if that gone other way. Doctor would say, "You know what? He's a bit daisy, but he's fine."
Yeah.
And then he cracks him again and he falls and he's dead. Or he's like completely becomes vegetable. It's all on doctor.
Over in England, would have taken
So when he
paracetamol.
comes up and he goes, "I'm in desert," doctor goes, "That's it. I
Listen,
don't want nothing to do with it."
Paracetamol is sort of.
If they'd have let it carry on and then there was some kind of big, massive head injury or something, UFC would have been in a world of shit.
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
they?
yeah.
So
They'd have been in a world of shit.
It
If they'd have
wasn't
ignored
even
doctors.
rocked to me. He
point of
wasn't
view, it was
even
the right
rocked.
call.
Sorry, I know we're going on about here, guys, but he wasn't even rocked. He got kneed, which were illegal. He stood up and he wiped his head, and he wasn't stumbling. It's not like you were seeing stars, stumbling around, and you think, "Oh, call it off for
I agree.
fighter's safety." It wasn't like that.
I agree. I think they could have carried it on, and we were actually saying at the time, is there anything they can do here? Can they ignore doctor's advice? Can they get it back on? But
It
you
was a bit
can't.
of a
Once
shock,
doctor
wasn't it?
said it, like I said, they would have been in a world of shit. If they'd have ignored doctor's advice, let them get it back on, and then fucking Johnny would have got some kind of brain injury, man, they'd have been fucked, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So ultimately, summing it up, man, it was disappointing, but hopefully we'll get to see him run it back, and we'll see where they both are, and see if Johnny can take it on from that. So, that was unfortunate, but never mind. We'll move on. We'll move on to what undoubtedly was the fight of the night in Hamzat Chimaev and Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't argue with it.
I missed the first round as well.
Yeah, the second round. It's all right, man. We know
So
you're
when
whining
Porsche
dining.
breaks down, guys, what can you do? You've got to take your missus home and fix Porsche.
Well, that's it. He's out whining and dining with Mrs. He pulls up in Porsche outside just when he wants, does Richard, you know what I mean? He does it what he wants, He's playing that George St. Pierre card again, you know what I mean?
You got to keep your women happy.
Licorice car from Saudi.
That's it, man. That's it. But yeah, I mean, it kicked off. We all wanted Hamzat against Paulo Costa. That didn't happen. Everybody was happy with the replacement in Kamaru Usman. It was a surprise one. We didn't know where Kamaru were going to be at. Is he going to be fit? Is his knees going to be all right? What they're going to get in? Listen, we all know Kamaru Usman is a great fighter. We're a little bit surprised on the odds and how much they were swaying towards Hamzat. We thought the odds were a bit too much. Between us when we were doing these little predictions, some of us thought Hamzat were going to win, some of us thought Kamaru were going to win. And the first round, it were a complete domination from Hamzat. When they took him down straight away, he had that leg triangle around his body, and Kamaru were fucked, basically. It looked like he were going to take him quickly. What's your thoughts on that first round, Chris, man?
Yeah, to start with, I think most of us, we can hold our hands up and say, what a fucking job UFC have done putting all these fights on. In that short period of time, it's unheard of in combat sport. That you compare it to boxing and other sports, it doesn't happen. Card rather gets cancelled, or you get some newcomers in, and it's like me, Robbo, and fucking Olaf fighting in a back Ginley. It's stupid bollocks. So
just in case you don't know, listeners, Robbo and Olaf is a couple of guys that's in room with us today. Shout hello from background, guys.
One was making a drawing. one of them making a drawing for us.
Yeah, one chef, and by the way, he's fucking unbelievable. Who was a top drinker is bringing I don't know, kitchens full anyway. Well, yeah, there are fans, the fight fans, the good lads, and we're really happy to have them around.
Yeah, mate. They say Hamza, he come out strong. He looked confident. He looked evil when he were bending down at the beginning. When they're both on the knees staring each other out, Hamza looked evil. It looked like he were fucking ready. And in that first round, he went straight in. He took him down, did what Hamza did. Gets on his back, gets that leg triangle around him. And Usman, who, let's remember, has not been taken down in his fucking UFC career before these fights. He was struggling. He was struggling that first round. I thought it was going to be easy. And I think Gamzat thought that he were going to take him quick as well. But he held on.
Yeah, if I can just butt in there a bit, Matt, first round, like, sorry to divulge like usually, but you asked me what I thought first round, and they both came out, and fucking hairs were starting to put back in my neck. It were, two best fighters going basically around those weights. Kamara coming off a 10-day, he's got 10 days notice to fight one of the biggest killers in UFC, and you're just thinking, what the fuck's going on?
So do we think that Usman were underrated because of what's happened in his last two fights with Leon Edwards? I think
a lot of people are looking at the fact. Sorry to interrupt you, Matty. That he's lost his last two fights have been against Leon Edwards. One, he lost in the last round, his first fight against him. He got KO'd in the last round after dominating 4 rounds.
He did.
Then he came to England back end of last year and he lost on points. And it was it was slightly one-sided. Apart from that, on the last podcast we did, Kamaru Usman is undefeated in UFC, apart from his last 2 fights. Him and Hamza have been calling each other out big time, back and forth, with weights, with all bullshit, all nonsense that goes in between that we all love. So they've been nailed on to fight for a long time. But in moving in with 10 days notice, and after that first round, I was kind of underwhelmed and disappointed because Hamza ragdolled him.
Absolutely.
He were on top of him. He could have finished him 3 or 4 times. He had his 4-round, when you're going for a choke, usually it's round neck to finish him, but he couldn't get it because Kamara was so good. He evaded it 3 or 4 times.
The man's a top shelf
and
wrestler.
I was like, fuck me. Well, end of that round, I was like, Jesus, he's dug deep there. Both of them have. Coming to the second round, they were both knackered. And it was pretty even. I'd slightly give it to Kamaru. On stand-up, his boxing it was slick, it was direct, it was straight, wasn't it?
It was second round. It was completely different. I thought Khamzat were going to take the same tactic that he did in first round. I thought he were going to shoot immediately as soon as bell went. I thought he were going to shoot and do it again. I think it was a mistake for him to stand up and bang. This is where Richard graced us with his presence. So let's have your take on it, Rich. What do you think from that second round? Because I know you had some strong opinions on it, and Kamara were looking good, wasn't he?
He did, and I argued about this before, whether it was on podcast or not. I can't remember, but I said it before. If you take somebody down and you don't inflict them any damage any measurable damage,
don't count for shit.
And then they end up they get out of that as well, and they stand up. You can't give them a round just because it took them down.
First round, though,
and then the
he was dominant, wasn't it? Sorry to interrupt.
No.
First round you missed, Hamzat was dominant. He was on his back, punching him, trying to submit him.
Yeah, that's fair enough, but second round it wasn't like that, wasn't it? He managed to, although he did take him down, he managed to stand up. Although he tried really hard, but he got out of it. He did get out of it. And then, you know what? Like you said, his striking was more direct, more accurate. Hamzat seems to struggle with this. Although Hamzat is good strike himself, he did struggle to defend himself against Usman's striking.
He definitely did. I think it was a mistake for Hamzat to try and stand and bang with Kamaru because he definitely got the better in the second round.
He was the better striker.
Wanted
to prove it to himself or to somebody else that he can strike against him, but he was struggling. Clearly, he was struggling.
He won. I think it was a mistake for him to do that. I think he should have gone straight for takedown again. And Usman probably. Well,
do you think he might have been knackered though? He put it after the first round. Sorry, guys, to interrupt again, Chris. First round, he was completely dominant. He was ragdolling Usman, nearly submitted him 2 or 3 times. Usman, I swear, I thought he was done 2 or 3 times as well. He had his arm across chin, an inch lower, it's round neck, so it's game over. He did well for pulling it through. I'm not sure if that was Hamzat's game plan. Into the second round, they both stood in front of each other, and I thought, wow, like Matty's just said, it's like you've dominated him. Are you knackered or what? I'm unsure with him.
You will be. If the on-ground game is draining for both sides.
He's got a new country behind him, everything's new behind him. I'm not sure on his basically on his commitment, on his lifestyle, on his, question everything about him as a fighter. Has he got like the minerals really? I'm not sure. I think he's been tested a few times. I don't think he's the like blue chip boy everyone's trying for.
Yeah,
I think Usman with full training camp will beat him.
That's the thing that we were discussing at the time. Is if Usman had have had a 3-month training camp, would it have been different?
Yeah, I think
would
what
it have
you
been
said
different?
that's what Strickland said, didn't he? And I agree.
Yeah, would it have been different if it were a 5-round fight as well? I think
I said that. Yeah.
If it were a 5-round fight tonight, I think Usman might have come back into it, but because like Chris says,
I agree with you.
I think he was looking a bit tired after that first round. It takes a lot out of you.
5 rounds would have changed that fight completely.
Can I jump in and ask you both something?
Yeah.
Again, I'm divulging. We've had a few beers. We've enjoyed this evening.
Don't apologise, motherfuckers.
What do you think about the winner of that, which we've just found out is Hamzat against Strickland?
I think Hamzat takes him quite easily.
Just because of the ground game. Striking, I don't think he could do it.
I don't want to say that, but I said as well, I'll predict it. You can put it out there, guys. You can say I'm wrong. You can slag me, do what you want. I said 2 weeks ago, I don't think Strickland ever defend middleweight belt.
So I like Sean, and it was an unbelievable performance against Adesanya. We all agreed on that. He brought his A game and he rocked his first round and he won that fight. But I genuinely think, I agree with you, I'm not sure Sean will have it in him to defend that belt. He might prove us all wrong, but I think I'll be backing Hamzat in that fight all the way. I think he'll take Sean.
I agree. I probably agree with what Chris says. Because I'm struggling to see that as well. But just because he doesn't have a ground game or not as good, but in the same time, I'm thinking if he could do that, he has done that once. If he could do that again, prepare himself as he did with the Adesanya's fight, he could do it again.
I agree. I'm not ruling it out. If I'm putting my money out, I'm putting it on Hamzat. But
the other day, I watched few of his fights. Previous fights.
Yeah.
And do you know what? He shocks people because he doesn't mind taking punches. His defense is bang on. He's really good defense. And then he's forward guy, no matter what happens. He gets punched, he walks forward. And he has this weird stance, and his striking is brilliant. And, he's powerful. If he's well prepared, I dare to say he would just knock Hamzat out, I think.
I'm not ruling it out, man. I'm not ruling it out at all because Hamzat is unpredictable and he is beatable for sure. I don't think he's as rounded as fighters like Khabib and as fighters like Islam Makhachev.
I think the hype is a bit too much around him. Yeah. As much as I like him, I think the hype is too big.
But yeah, he's unpredictable, and that's what makes him good, and that's what makes fighters good when they can win or lose. For me personally, I'm a fan of fighters that are not so well-rounded and predictable, even if they're so good. You know what I mean? I like fighters that can lose, but they put it all on line to win. You know what I mean? I like fighters like that, and Hamzat is definitely one of them. And as I say, I would put my money on him beating Sean Strickland.
I do as well.
I also would not
take him to the ground immediately.
I would also not be surprised if Sean took him, because he's took Izzy Adesanya out, and that guy's one of the greatest of all time, man.
Yeah.
So you cannot back against him. It's not simple. It's not simple like that. So shall we talk about the third round in that fight? Because it was the decisive round. I think they were going into the third round at 1-1. I think Hamzat, obviously, I think it were a 10-8 round in that first round. I think second round, Usman probably took it because he stood up and banged. I think that were a mistake from Hamzat to do that, and I were fully expecting him to go for the takedown in the third round and try and mirror what he did in first round. And
he didn't just start with, did he?
No, he didn't do it as soon as I thought he would have.
I thought, honestly, going to the third round, that I thought Usman, he was having some advantages on striking side of it. And for me, his striking was more cleaner. I mean, don't get me wrong, Hamzat is a fucking machine. He comes forward, he's full throttle. I think Usman's a better striker. And I think that he was catching him and he was doing a bit of damage.
He was struggling. He
kind of threw him for me.
I think at that point Hamzat was struggling, and then it were about halfway through that round when he did that. He did the double leg takedown, and I think that's what turned it, and that's what won it for him.
Did he flip it then?
Yeah,
But thing
Usman go
is,
for a
I do
takedown? Did he
believe that
flip?
third round was 50-50 for me. I don't think
was
any of them
close.
won. I think it was so close you couldn't call it, and I think it should have been draw that for the third round because, yeah, it did take him down and it did inflict a bit of damage. But when they got up, the striking of Usman was just so much better. He was just landing on him, and it was affecting him badly. You could see it took effect.
I agree,
That's
man.
why I agree with you when you said about 5 rounds.
I agree. I
rounds.
agree. It was close. I can't remember. We're recording this straight after the event, so I don't know what. I can't remember what the judges' scorecards were, but it was a very close first round. I believe that Hamzat won
I
it
think
because
it
of the
was
work he
split
did in
decision,
round
Yeah,
one.
boys, it were all 3 judges was for Hamza.
Was it?
He wanted a split decision.
For a
No,
second,
I
thought
just
it
meant
was.
in third round in particular, but I think it was the work that he did in round one that won him the fight, to be fair. But I think the main takeaway from this fight is that Kamaru Usman is not finished. Like a lot of people were saying, he's definitely not finished. He didn't look like he was struggling with his knees. He says that it's a bit of a myth that his knees are shot. I'm sure it's not a complete myth. I'm sure there is some weight behind that. But he's not finished yet, man. He put up a good show against a good fight, a good up-and-coming fighter. And Hamzat Chimaev is very much on the up.
But I
Where
wanted
do
to
you
bring
think, guys,
something.
that he goes from, though, with Usman? I had him to win on points, so first of all, I was hoping he'd win. I know Hamzat, a fan favourite, he's a superstar in the Middle East, especially UFC are fucking booming over there.
Does he stay
Putting
middleweight
fight
or does he go
nights
back
on,
down to
all this.
welter?
What happens if Usman would have won that? He'd have fancied Sean Strickland, that's for sure. He hasn't won it, so where does he go from here? Does he stay in welterweight division? Does he move up to middleweight? He's lost 3 on trot now. You know what?
You notice it's not the same fight anymore. He doesn't fight the same as he used to.
I think
It just doesn't.
I think it probably depends on what happens between Leon Edwards and Colby Covington at the end of the year. Because if Colby takes out Leon, I don't expect him to. But if he does, then he'll probably fancy himself staying down at welter and going for Colby again.
Colby as a champion would probably take him on then, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean he's a cocky motherfucker, isn't he? You know
That's
what
why
I
this
mean?
spot's so good, 'cause it's changing on a fucking day. It's not even a weekly. I'm going to say weekly. It's a daily basis.
And
There's
it's mad, isn't it?
champions, elite strikers, there's newcomers. It's best sport in fucking world for me.
I think Kamaru Usman tonight has put on a performance which throws him right back into content.
But he was a bit conservative, wasn't
Yeah,
he? Holding back a bit.
I think he's a different guy, isn't he? Since he got wiped out from that headshot.
Yeah.
He's a bit more. He's a bit more. Which you're gonna when you get knocked the fuck out like he did, headshot bang. You know what I mean? You're gonna be a bit more conservative. But you know what I mean? Where's he gonna go? Is he gonna stay at welter, or is he gonna move up to middleweight permanently like he did tonight? It's a tough call, isn't it? Because it's going to take him a while to get another shot. He has lost against Hamzat, regardless of how close it was. Hamzat's going to get the next shot against Sean Strickland. Dricus Duplessis, as we know, should have had a shot already. So he's going to be next in line after that. Or I hope he is, because I think Dricus deserves his shot. So we're going to have to see.
And he's a bit pissed off, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's going to be, isn't he? He's going to be. He's earned his shot as Dricus, you know what I mean? He's battled his way up there to get his chance. It come away from him because of injury this time, and then it all got mixed up because Sean beat Izzy, which not a lot of people thought he'd do. So shit happens, man. Shit happens, but he's going to get another chance. Kamaru, I think he'll go down to welter. But is he going to fight Leon again? Maybe not. So maybe he's going to have to take some of these fighters that are in place.
I'm thinking if they
second,
would give him
third.
a shot, would he do it or not? He probably would.
I can't see him giving another shot against Leon. He's beat him twice, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
going to be other people in line for it.
One-dimensional. It moves on.
It does. It moves on. And speaking of moving on, we are going to move on to the main event of the evening, which was built up to be an absolute barnstormer after that first fight in Australia. And, you know, we were all expecting it to be much the same. A lot of us thought Volkanovski might come even harder, even faster than he did first time round. A lot of people also thought that Islam Makhachev were too much for him, especially on this short notice, and that is what proved to be. It was a little bit unfortunate. It was a little bit disappointing from a fight fan's point of view. We would have liked to have seen at least 3 or 4 rounds before someone knocked the fuck out of someone else. But hats off to Islam Makhachev, man. You know what I mean? He went out there and he beat the pound for pound number 1 in absolute style. Fire away, Rich Hardy. What do you think of that fight, man?
Well, fucking hell. First of all, when I saw Makachev, have you seen the size of the... Fucking hell, the size of him, honestly, compared to the last time. He was built from muscles, wasn't he?
Yeah, he looked good, man. He looked good.
No, it's IVs.
Yeah. No, I think he was just prepared for... He purely trained on strength, didn't he? Just because he had to. That's why he was lacking in the first fight, wasn't he? And this time he thought, okay, you know...
He said he was going to be...
One that he was a bit unprepared. He wanted us... let's say nutritious.
Yeah. because
he had a few issues. Richard commented on that before on one of the last podcasts, one of others.
Yeah, he was moaning about like the time that he had to rehydrate and stuff like that, wasn't he? But he said he was going to come back bigger. He said he was going to come back stronger.
Yeah, he did, and
he did big time.
You know, although we all expected big fight, and you know what, it didn't happen. Basically, Volkanovski got knocked out clean, and that was a clean kick.
It was a clean kick,
Fuck,
yeah.
you know, that was one of the cleanest kicks, honestly. One of the cleaner ones.
Even if you're Alexander the Great Volkanovski, mate, you're not standing up for a kick like that.
Which we all are his fans, aren't we?
Yeah, man, he's one of the
that's
best.
why it
He's
was
a
so
fucking
devastating, wasn't
superstar
it?
to us.
It was just devastating.
He's not most people's best fighting in the world for nothing, is he?
Yeah, as much as I like Makachev and I like his skill and I like how he adapts and everything he learns. But I said that in the last podcast. Will he improve, Makachev? I said, I bet he will. I knew he's going to find something new.
Yeah, it certainly
Because
seemed
he
like,
had to, didn't he? Yeah, and he did. He come in, his striking improved, his defense improved. Volkanovski couldn't really come to him close, didn't he? He was struggling to get in there, get into the pocket. He just couldn't do it.
It was a much slower start than expected. I expected Volkanovski to come straight out of blocks, and Makachev as well. Both fighters, you know, they were kind of sizing each other up, and then just ultimately after a couple of minutes in, Islam just showed his class, and it was an excellent head shot. And, you know, it wasn't great to see from a fight fan's point of view. We all want to see 3, 4, 5 rounds even, but Islam showed his class, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, guys? Yeah, I'll be honest as well. I was so much looking forward to that fight after all build up to it, you know, late replacement, injury, fucking the rematch, all of it.
Especially after that last one, man. Yeah.
And Volk's all our favourite fighters, but the more I looked at it, I thought, you know what? 10 days notice, who the fuck does that? He's a machine.
Against one of the best fighters in the world.
Nobody can take that away from him ever.
And that's why, although you two disagree with me,
I've seen videos of him. He's upset. He's crying. He's like a bit in bits. And I'm thinking, honestly, I bet you within single digits of people on planet Earth that would go that deep with a fucking killer like Islam. I'm telling you now, moving up weight, trying to be great, and falling short. And I've watched a few videos, and you know, I'm not welling up because I'm not his mate, but I tell you what, he's not lost nothing in my eyes. And I've won a bit of money because I thought he'd lose. You know, on short notice.
This silly bastard in my, I bet for him to win, man. So I lost it.
I was so pumped with that fight. I'm telling you, it was fucking beautiful, that fight.
It was a bit of a non-event in end, but where do we think they go next for both fighters? For Volkanovski, does he go back down lightweight? Does he? Obviously, he's going to fight.
You two disagree with me on that before.
I think he
should get I think he should have another go.
Another go?
No, he won't have another go now. No
I think
chance.
he should.
He won first one, and then he wiped him out in second one. Guys, that one a clip knockout referee. You know, could he gone? You know, he got fucking wiped out in second.
I personally
fight.
think Volkanovski can step up to lightweight again, but
Not against him. Yeah,
no, not against him. For me, it is if Makachev steps up to welterweight and he has a go in there, which I think he should do because, well, there's Justin Gaethje. Maybe that's an option, but Makachev, he said that he wants to step up. He wants to fight Leon Edwards. He wants to fight. He wants to become a champ. He wants to become the world champ. So if he steps up, maybe he'll relinquish that well. I don't know, and then Volk will have another shot against someone else. I think he should do it. Do you think he should step up, Rich? What do you think?
Well, if like you said, if you want to be a GOAT, you have to step up the weight.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, that's for me. There's been whispers as well. Dana White and that clan, they don't forget when somebody else come out. If you look through history, even the last few years, cause we're all kind of modern fans, aren't we? Yeah. If you make weight, if you back up what you're going to say, he never forgets you. You drop weight, you could turn out injured, or you drop fights, he fucks you off. And he's so loyal like that. I'm pretty sure from what I've heard, and Volkanovski said it's probably the last chance I'll ever get to fight Islam, is because Islam's been granted a fight upper weight at welterweight. Islam's lightweight champion, and I'm 99.9% sure he's been told he can have a go at the welterweight champion in future.
He has to.
He cuts loads of weight, doesn't he? He's a big bastard.
Yeah, he has to.
he's
For him and his
massive.
career, and for him to outshine his fucking hero and his fucking mentor in Khabib, who never did it. I think Islam Makhachev does have to step up and become a double-weight champion, man, because, you know, I think he's took out Charles Oliveira, he's took out Volkanovski twice, he's took out all big hitters. I think there is some kudos in a fight with Justin Gaethje, because I think he deserves one more shot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's a great fighter, but I do think it's time for Islam to step up and see if he can make some way in that welterweight division.
really
It's not
agree
that
with
if he
what
wouldn't
Matty
step
said
up,
there.
who is he going to fight? If he's not stepping up, who is he going to fight?
I think he can go straight in for a championship fight like Volker. I think he can
I
fight winner
agree.
of Edwards and Colby Covington straight away.
I
man.
agree with what Matty
Yeah, I
said
agree with
there.
that. If he steps up, but I mean, if he wouldn't step up, who is he going to fight? And like,
Well, I think there's only Gaethje really.
there's
only
nobody
one more
really
fight
to
for
fight
him.
for him. So
Yeah.
the only way is up. So he has to go up, and he's big enough to go up anyway.
That's
so
why it's so good,
And good
because
enough.
all
Yeah.
these fights, fans want, fighters want, they get paid, they do what they're going to say they do. It gets published and posted out on our fucking podcasts, on other podcasts, on other shows. You know, is there a better sport than UFC in the world? Fuck me. Come on, somebody tell me, please.
I don't think there is
Some
right now. I don't think there is. In every way.
Punter, listener, footballer, you know, you show me where anything gets made like that. It's elite. Within 10 days, you've got 4 men, 2 of them dropping out. If that was boxing, any other fucking sporting world, the show would be called off. The fighter won't get paid. The backup won't get paid. No one on card will get paid, in fact. So these guys that are, you're only moving in for money. Yeah, but it saves the full card. Volkanovski steps up to be pound for pound champion at world, and it saves the full card.
It does, and there's one thing for sure, that this result does not mean it's the end for Alexander Volkanovski. I mean, he's got a great fight against Ilya Topuria. There's some more up-and-coming guys that's up there that's interesting fights, in guys like our very own Arnold Allen and stuff like that. You know, I mean, he's fought Max Holloway a few times. I don't think that's going to happen again, but there is fights there for Volkanovski at the weight that he's at, and as we say, he can step up again if Makhachev steps up to welterweight. It relinquishes that belt. Volkanovski is still not out of question that he can do stuff at featherweight, but we'll have to see what'll happen in the future, and I'm sure UFC will continue to deliver with all these great fights that they do week in, week out, month in, month out. We've got a lot to look forward to. So thank you very much for listening to us on this quick fire review show that we've done after UFC 294. We thought it might have been a little bit better. We thought it might have been a little bit more spectacular with some of the top fights. Wasn't to be, but we got one great one in Hamzat Chimaev and Kamaru Usman. But we will look forward to the next big event where we've got John Jones against Stipe Miocic.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. Jesus.
None of us can wait for that one, mate. And Yuri Prochazka and Alex Pereira will also be an absolute fucking barnstormer, we can guarantee. We'll try and bring you maybe a couple of fighter profiles or something in between a little bit. Who knows? We'll try and get some more in between. We won't wait the 3 or 4 weeks that it is before we get something else to you. So thank you very much for listening to us, and like us, Facebook, Instagram, on Spotify is where you can hear us. If you can give us a 5-star review or anything like that, that would be great. Subscribe, helps us get it out to more people. Hope you're enjoying what we're doing so far. We're still in the early stages. Hopefully we'll keep on getting better, and we appreciate the positive feedback we've got so far. So thank you very much from me, Matt.
From Chris as well. Cheers, guys.
And from me, Rich. And before we end, I've got some news as well. We are on Apple Podcasts now, and on Google Podcasts as well, if that's easier for you.
Excellent news, and we will soon be finding a venue which is appropriate apart from Cat's bedroom to start filming it, and we'll get ourselves on YouTube. Papa.
See ya. Bye.
We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over,
No bones. The No Bones Podcast.